They were lost to her. That terrible day she stole the boxes for the sisters, she had promised herself that someday she would find the truth of who she was, and she would be free. When Sister Alicia knocked a third time, a muffled voice came from inside. "I heard you." It was a man's voice. His bare feet thumped down wooden stairs. "I'll be right there. A moment, please." His annoyance at having been awakened in the middle of the night was layered over with forced deference to potential customers. Sister Alicia turned a sullen look on Kahlan. "You know that we have business here." She lifted a cautionary finger before Kahlan's face. "Don't you even think of giving us any trouble, or you'll get what you got the last time." Kahlan swallowed at the reminder. "Yes, Sister Alicia." "Tovey had better have gotten us a room," Sister Cecilia complained. "I'm in no mood to be told the place is full." "There will be room," Sister Amina said with soothing assurance, cutting off Sister Cecilia's habit of always assuming the worst. Sister Amina wasn't older, like Sister Cecilia, but nearly as young and attractive as Sister Alicia. To Kahlan, though, their looks were insignificant in light of their inner nature. To Kahlan, they were vipers. "One way or another," Sister Alicia added under her breath as she glared at the door, "there will be room." Lightning arced through the greenish, roiling clouds, releasing an ear-splitting boom of thunder. The door opened a crack. The shadowed face of a man peered out at them as he worked to button up his trousers under his nightshirt. He moved his head a little to each side so that he could take in the strangers. Judging them to be less than dangerous, he pulled open the door and with a sweeping gesture ushered them inside. "Come on in, then," he said. "All of you." "Who is it?" a woman called out as she descended the stairs to the rear. She carried a lantern in one hand and held the hem of her nightdress up with the other, so that she wouldn't trip on it as she hurried down the steps. "4 women traveling in the middle of a rainy night," the man told her, his gruff tone alluding to what he thought of such a practice. Kahlan froze in mid-stride. It said 4 women. He had seen all 4 of them, and had remembered as much long enough to say so. As far as she could recall, such a thing had never happened before. No one but her masters, the 4 sisters, the 3 with her and the one they had come to meet, ever remembered seeing her. Sister Cecilia shoved Kahlan in ahead of her, apparently not catching the significance of the remark. "Well, for goodness sake," the woman said as she hurried between the 2 plank tables. She tisked at the foul weather as the wind drove a rattle of rain against the windows. "Do get them in out of that awful weather, Orlan." Streamers of fat raindrops chased them in the door, wetting a patch of pine floor. The man's mouth twisted with displeasure as he pushed the door closed against a wet gust and then dropped the heavy iron bar back in the brackets to bolt the door. The woman, her hair gathered up in a loose bun, lifted her lantern a little as she peered at the late-night guests. Puzzled, she squinted as her gaze swept over the drenched visitors and then back again. Her mouth opened, but then she seemed to forget what she had been about to say. Kahlan had seen that blank look 1,000 times, and knew that the woman only remembered seeing 3 callers. No one could ever remember seeing Kahlan long enough to say so. She was as good as invisible. Kahlan thought that maybe, because of the darkness and the rain, the man, Orlan, had merely made a mistake when he'd said to his wife that there were 4 visitors. "Come in and get yourselves dry," the woman said as she smiled in earnest warmth. She hooked a hand under Sister Alicia's arm, drawing her into the small gathering room. "Welcome to the White Horse Inn." The other 2 sisters, openly scrutinizing the room, took off their cloaks and gave them a quick shake before tossing them over a bench at one of the 2 tables. Kahlan noticed a single dark doorway at the back, beside the stairs. A fireplace made of stacked, flat stones took up most of the wall to the right. The air in the dimly lit room was warm, and carried the distractingly enticing aroma of a stew in the iron pot hung from a crane pushed to the side of the hearth. Hot coals glowed out from under a thick layer of feathery ashes. "You 3 ladies look like drowned cats. You must be miserable." The woman turned to the man and gestured. "Orlan, get the fire going." Kahlan saw a young girl of maybe 11 or 12 years slip down the stairs just far enough so she could see into the room from under the low ceiling. Her long white nightdress with ruffled cuffs had a pony's